What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and this is the morning right after the midterm elections for 2022. The last little bit of the votes are sort of being tallied here, but most has been decided. It looks like it's pretty easy to project what the final results are going to be, barring some type of recount that has to occur because of the margin of error. I'm not quite sure what the margin of error is, or if it differentiates in every state, but from the looks of it, Gen Z voters have completely bailed out the Democrats in these midterms. I'm sure you saw it from the title of the video. So Gen Z turned out in record numbers, and they were the biggest demographic voting in favor of the Democrats. It was the widest margin of any of the demographics. Republicans did, again, they keep doing better and better with Hispanic and African American voters. As of right now, I'll pop up the numbers. So it's about 9 a.m. Eastern time right now, and the Senate races are pretty much over. So we're looking at 48, 49, 50. It's going to be 50-50 from the looks of it. 50, is that even possible? 50, 47, 48, 50 to 48? 50 to 48, is that what the number's going to be for the Senate race? I think so. You guys tell me. Look at that map. Look at that map and tell me what it looks like it's going to be. Even though by the time you watch this, it's probably already going to be decided. And then the House. It's amazing to me. I was looking at the projections for this. It's amazing that the majority is 218 for a majority, but the Republicans are projected to have 220. I saw. That's what looks like the final projection. So they will have the majority of the House. But look how red this map is. Is it not crazy that a map can look this red and that it's a barely victory? That's pretty crazy to me how everything works in the end. And then for the governor races, it's 24-21 right now. But Nevada, Joe Lombardo looks like he's going to win Nevada, barring some great comeback by Sisolak. And then Alaska, Dunleavy has 52% of the vote. And the next best is Gara with 23% of the vote. So I'm pretty sure you can call Alaska at this point. But the governorship, that's like, they got 26 governors. Sure. Whatever. But my real gripe here is with the Gen Z who did bail out the Democrats. And it just goes to show that they are the most low information voters that there are. And they're the most easily manipulated by the campaigning that is sent in their direction. They buy into it more than anyone else does. And what they buy into is the free stuff part. It's very evident. There was a lot of, they want the free college, they want the minimum wage, things that were actually more likely to occur for them the last 2 years, but Joe Biden and his administration didn't give them. Because why? Because they wanted to dangle the carrot in front of them, and they're so just, and you can see the way that they talk about candidates, the way they talk about the races. There's no actual substance to it, no real world substance to it. A lot of it is just fascist, Nazi, racist, sexist. It's just all the typical labels you'd expect a dumb college student to say. And it's very concerning because the Gen Z in Canada is far more left than Gen Z in the United States. So it's going to be a long road ahead here, boys. It's going to be a long road ahead, it looks like, for us here in Canada. We're going to need to figure out a way to outvote them because every other age group in the United States went more Republican than in the presidential election and in the previous midterms. Just cutting in on this video real quick to let you guys know about my second channel. It's my sports channel, Will Know Sports. Cover all things sports related there, mock drafts. I even do a little bit of like, hey, what parlays am I going to be doing for the weekend? Of course, gamble responsibly. So if you're interested in all that sports stuff, you can go in the description of this video, click the link, and I'll send you to my second channel, Will Know Sports, where you can subscribe to that as well and keep up with all the sports talk for the week. Now let's get back to this video. At some point, Gen Z has to grow up, right? You'd think so, and it's hard to be mad at them, you know, because when I was 20, you could have got me to vote for you if you promised me free shit. You know what I mean? Like that, you could have got me. You really could have got me. It's just sad that there's more information now out there than ever, especially what just happened over the last couple of years. And you would think that the generation that was brought up in the age of information would not be the lowest information voter, but somehow they are. Somehow they are just goofy idiots when it comes to how they throw their vote around. There's no consideration for the bigger picture of what it could cause. Everything is just about, oh, codify Roe v. Wade. Well, that's not going to happen because the Democrats need something that they run on. They've been claiming all this stuff for Roe v. Wade since before you guys were even born. Since before I was born. They need a carrot to dangle in front of you. It's such a binary topic, such a binary policy that once it's put in, they need to move on to something else, and they don't have anything else. Same thing with student debt relief. It's such a binary decision. It's not like, oh, we're going to lower taxes. Well, how much are you going to lower taxes by? Oh, we're just going to lower them. You could always run on that. You could always come in and say, oh, we're going to lower taxes. And you can even do it a bit, but still have that carrot dangling for the next election cycle. And on top of that, you know, you got these Gen Z people who are not necessarily experiencing the cost of living issues. They're not experiencing the hardships of gas prices. They're not experiencing the hardship of grocery bills because most of them are not paying for their own groceries. You know, they're in the age range where they're still living at home. At least in that voting age, 18 to 24, they're still living at home at this point. So the chances of them being the ones who are having to buy groceries and having to see the prices and stuff is not necessarily something that's going to touch them. And if they do have jobs, you know, not a lot of parents are charging their kids rent to live at home, especially not at that age. So all the money they make is all going towards their own personal ventures. And if you're making even minimum wage and you're working on the weekends, that's enough money to make you feel like you got money. You know, and especially when you got a lot of these Gen Z voters who are the college students, they're all middle class level, so they're not really feeling any of this stuff. And it's going to be a rude awakening for them in the next couple of years, because as much as I hate to say it, their vote really mattered in these midterms, clearly. I don't think that I or anyone else really gave that demographic the credit that it clearly deserved in this voting class. I think that I'm going to look at it a lot differently for when we have elections over here. They're clearly going to turn out, if they clearly turn out to vote, they're going to vote a certain way at this point, unless we try to, you know, rein this in. And a lot of it has to do with continuing to combat the education system, because we're sending them off to these schools that are clearly teaching them nonsense. They're not teaching them about taxes. They're not teaching them about inflation. Because if they did, they would look at the world right now and they'd be like, there's no freaking way I can vote for these doofuses in the Democratic Party or the Liberal Party here in Canada. And when they're the ones that put us in this situation. And all their policies are not to get us out of this situation. It's to increase the problem. But all that comes with political literacy economic literacy, financial literacy, which is just not being taught. It's not being taught at the elementary or high school levels, and it's barely being taught in college. You have to actually specialize in it to even learn it in college. I think that there should be a real push to make these things mandatory in school, but then how do you trust the teachers who are clearly all these giant left-wing Democrat liberals to properly teach it from a neutral perspective and not take that opportunity to maybe manipulate the data the way that it has been in social media and in college. The projection has Nancy Pelosi gone, so there is that. She can tend to her totally not gay husband, Paul, and his injuries, and rebuilding their house and all the security systems that they apparently didn't have, and then maybe instruct the guy to not open the door and let in strangers for no reason. You have like the doorbell. You at least have the door. Whatever, that's a different topic. The Senate, like I said, just checking and see if anything changed here at the last minute before I wrap this up. It doesn't look like anything's going to change here. Wisconsin is 1% difference in favor of the Republicans, and Georgia is less than 1% difference between Warnock and Herschel Walker. 98% reporting, 99% reporting. So the chances of those flipping is pretty low unless it gets within the threshold of a recount, and then at that point anything can happen, I guess. Historically, we've seen recounts flip from what the initial projection was plenty of times. The margin for errors are pretty small, but there is still a margin for error that is completely fair to assume in a lot of cases. Nevada is looking like it's going to be pretty much locked down for Lexalt over Catherine whatever. And then Alaska's just two Republicans competing with each other. So I don't know why that hasn't just been called for the Republicans yet. I guess they have to wait to call it because a Democrat might. I don't know. But yeah, we can't keep discounting Gen Z anymore. Clearly, this needs to be a wake up call to conservatives and Republicans, whatever right-wing people, that this generation is now starting to impact elections. They're not just ranting and raving and crying on college campuses, trying to shut down conservative speakers. They're not bitching and whining on social media, trying to get people censored with their pronouns in their bio and all that stuff. They're no longer just that can be dismissed. We can't dismiss them anymore. There needs to be and some type of effort and strategy made to educate them. And I don't know if they can be. I don't know if we just have to wait it out and let them get older and let them get some real world experience where they'll be less like this. Where in these situations they'd be able to see the forest through the trees type of a deal, or the trees through the forest, whatever the saying is. And realize that the change needs to be made for now to bring everything sort of back on track. It was still a win. It was still a win. Everything did go to the right in this one. You got 2 more years to sort of make up for it. With that said, I don't think Trump is the answer. He endorsed a lot of people that underperformed. And he, for some reason, went after DeSantis, which was a weird decision to be made, but he might just be the only person that the Republicans run in 2024, which I don't think will turn out that positive, especially with a whole other section of Gen Z who just blindly hate him coming into the age of being able to vote. And so I doubt there's too many people on that fringe of what is currently the Gen Z, 23, 24, whatever. I highly doubt that they're going to all of a sudden, in the next 2 years, switch what they're thinking, switch party affiliation. So probably try to figure out a way to get DeSantis to run in 2024, because he'll win the nomination and he could actually win at the federal level. I'm not sure that Trump can, and there's not really any other candidate right now that can win at the federal level either. But that's all for now. I'll put up the most updated as of the last second editing this video of what the map looks like and what the numbers look like. But make sure to leave a like on this video. Leave your comments in the comments section below. Any strategy ideas of how to deal with Gen Z moving forward and to try and flip their vote. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But please do. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.